Man, those beautiful, beautiful repeats. This is the Maxon AD-80 analog delay. This is a vintage unit which has been sent to us by Verley at Past Effects just to have a muck around with. Although I've heard on the grapevine there is a Past Effects might be working on something to do with this. Anyway, say to my thank you very much, Verley, for sending this to us to play around with. Now, these old Bucket Brigade analog delays, they stand out. They've got the beautiful old square on-off switch on them. This one might be a touch touchy, but for a pedal that's sort of 40-something years old, I'll forgive it. That's totally fine. But the reason they're revered so much is because with every single delay repeat, it loses a little bit of its fidelity. So as the signals get processed through the chips, they sort of aren't really very good at keeping up with audio file, and so you lose some of the bottom end and some of the top end, and it gets a little bit grainy and a little bit dirty. But what the magic of it is that because you're losing the fidelity out of your original guitar signal through your analog delays, it doesn't get in the road, it doesn't get muddled, it doesn't get muffled. Your beautiful pristine guitar tone that you spend so much time and money working on to get perfect just sits beautifully on top of this wash of analog delay. So as you heard there in the intro, that is as long as it's the longest repeat you can get out of it. Even this 18-volt version, that is the longest repeat you can get. And you can hear in its delays, it's almost like a tape echo. And I've got a real Roland space echo, so I know what I'm talking about. That actually sounds like tape degradation to me. If you've got your headphones on, you'll be able to hear how grainy it gets and how it loses all its fidelity. It's an amazing sound. Now, this is why people love analog delay. This is why people love Bucket Brigade and tape delay. Drum delay, old oil drum delays and magnetic disc delays. This is why we love them, because it just sits underneath your signal so beautifully. Could you imagine, being in the late 60s, early 70s and just having one of these at your disposal for the first time? This would have just blown your mind. I mean, it's 2023 and I'm still totally in love with these. Anyway, let's turn some knobs. So I've got it back to one repeat now, because the other reason that people love these is for a really fancy slapback echo. So might be a touch long for a slapback. So there you go, really nice little slap echo out of it as well, which is pretty good. Which is pretty cool. Now, it does actually get shorter than that, which sort of gets you into comb filtering, so you can get some really weird, crazy effects here. Just watch. Keep your finger ready on this button, on this knob to turn it, because these can get really loud, some of these oscillations. So it sounds like feedback, but I promise you it's not. So this is the beauty of this one's got a few scratchy pots, but that's okay. This one's pots are a little bit scratchy, and that's okay because they're very old and I'm sure they've done their job a million times over. So if it wants to be a little bit tired and scratchy, I'm totally fine with it. I still love it. So it's done its job and it's earned its scratchiness. So anyway, I'm pretty sure. So now I'm going to show you what it sounds like with some dirt in the front of it, because most of us will have our delays after our dirt. So I've got the OD3 here. This is a pretty epic sound here in the studio. It's really massive. OD3 is a highly, highly underrated overdrive pedal from Boss. Now, lots of dudes like Eddie Van Halen and everything used to run all their wet effects, like his flanger and his delay and everything, into the front of his dirty amp. So I'm going to do that for you too. There's a more dirty channel in my Katana. This is sort of my dirty rock tone that I use at gigs. So straight away you hear going into the dirt, it's makes the delays a lot louder than they originally were. So if I'm putting delay directly into the front of my dirty amp, I normally would turn the level of the delays down a little bit and turn the repeats down a little bit as well. And now, because you all yell at me if I don't do it, I'm going to put dirt in the front of it going into the dirty amp so you can hear dirt before and after at the same time. I don't know why you guys love this, but you do. I'll just play some short stabby notes so you can hear the actual repeats. Still into a dirty amp. And now back into the clean amp. Well, there you have it. If hopefully you got headphones on or listening through to this through your home theater system at home on your telly or something like that. But this is seriously just the most beautiful example of analog delay, vintage analog bucket brigade delay at its absolute finest. It runs on 18 volts. So they're even trying to give you a little bit more clean headroom on your repeats to make your repeats a bit cleaner by giving you a higher voltage on the inside. But it's still just got that delicious, yummy analog goodness. Oh, I love it so much. So anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed checking out this really old pedal like I have. I will be very sad over the next couple of days when I post this back to Verly at Past Effects. Thank you very much for lending us your stuff. She lends us a lot of her stuff. She must have the most amazing collection. I'll have to go up and check it out with her one day at the Past Effects assembly plant. So thank you guys for tuning in. Leave a comment if you've got one of these and how you use it. We always love to know what everyone else is doing with their gear that we have. So yeah, leave a comment, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, all that sort of stuff. It really helps. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Bye. Ba ba boom boom bleeben bloob blah bloob blue. Fuck yeah.